I'm going to miss everyone in that building. Best people in the world.
Today is the deadline for many workers in the Northwest to be vaccinated for COVID. Thank you for joining us for KGW News at 5 o'clock. The mandates in Oregon and Washington require hundreds of thousands of workers to be fully vaccinated or lose their jobs. Tim Gordon breaks it down and talks to some folks who are now unemployed over the mandate.
October 18th is a date many have been watching for quite a while. It's the deadline governors in both Oregon and Washington set for many state employees, teachers, and healthcare workers to be fully vaccinated.
It's frustrating and it's sad that this is what authoritarianism looks like.
It's a day that those against the mandate are speaking out. This news conference held near Legacy Emmanuel Hospital featured some healthcare workers like this nurse, now fired.
And why? Not because I'm a bad nurse, not because I did something wrong in my job, but because I refused to take a vaccine that goes against my religious beliefs.
It's important to note that as of last week, Portland-based Legacy Health saw vaccination compliance go from 85 to 95% in its 14,000-person workforce since the mandate deadline was set in mid-August. Other healthcare systems saw similar results that suggests mandates work. In Washington, 60,000 state workers from transportation to fish and wildlife to the Department of Corrections have vaccine deadlines today. Late last week, Governor Jay Inslee said a 92% vaccination rate among those workers should alleviate concerns over massive disruptions to state services. But that leaves 5,000 workers up against the deadline today, including some WSP troopers in Southwest Washington. I talked with two troopers today, just after they cleared out their patrol cruisers and ended their careers over the mandate.
I'm going to miss everyone in that building. Best people in the world.
Former trooper Bill Jordan says a strong religious belief, among other reasons, keeps him from getting the vaccine and losing a job he loved.
Between my service to the country and the citizens of the state of Washington, I've got over 25 years, and it feels like, trying to put it nicely, I guess, it doesn't count for anything.
Richard Thompson was a WSP sergeant until today. He says the impact is big in this district on job loss and public safety.
In this district, we are allotted 75 troopers. Tomorrow, there will be 51 of 75.
His reason to buck the mandate?
For me personally, I am morally opposed to overreaching government. It's my choice. I'm not anti-vaccination. I am anti-mandate.
Of course, teachers and school staff are part of this mandate in both states. I checked with several districts, and they report very high compliance rates, near 100% in many cases. Tim Gordon, KGW News.
Washington and Oregon's vaccine mandate applies to most healthcare workers, but one group in Washington isn't part of the mix: at-home nurses. The big reason for this? Enforcement would be tough. Plus, at-home care provider options are already hard to get, and a potential vaccine mandate could make that shortage even worse. The Department of Social and Health Services says there are about 46,000 of these workers who are contracted by the state of Washington. A Vancouver neighborhood wants answers after a shooting involving Clark County deputies left one man dead on Sunday. One family says police should have been more careful to not shoot bullets through their home with them inside. Galen Etlin has the new developments.
The bathtub.
Connie Ramirez is counting bullet holes.
And then there's one there.
The outside of her home off of Northeast 49th Street in Vancouver is riddled with them. On Sunday, just after 2 a.m., Clark County deputies tried to pull over a man wanted for assault with a gun. They say he led them on a chase. They forced his SUV off the road. He got out with a gun and bullets flew. Some right through Connie Ramirez's home with her mother and daughter inside.
I thank God. I think it's a miracle that this bullet didn't go straight. It went there.
My hands like this.
Yeah.
Connie's mother, Teresita, is left literally shaking.
And I can't sleep.
Having watched a man die.
That was in your driveway?
That was like right in front of us, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Connie's son, Renz, lives in the room most impacted, but was at work when bullets flew through it.
And nearly a dozen bullet holes are in your wall.
Yes, it's just, thinking about it is just really scary.
A casing was still left Monday morning behind their now punctured washing machine.
Somebody need to be accountable.
Connie is now trying to figure out repairs through the county and city, she says, without much help.
No. It's just like it's our responsibility to find the right person who can fix all this.
For hours Sunday, with a dead man in the driveway, investigators tracked through their home without sharing much information.
We've been treated like just an animal.
No one's asking like if we're okay, how we're feeling and all that.
I'm thankful my family are okay.
Connie feels deputies did not consider the safety of other people nearby as they fired upon one wanted man.
I don't know how you trained, but I believe you were there. You chose this job because you want to protect the community. You wanted to protect us, not to hurt us. But the way I see those bullets there, it's not something protecting us.
A memorial to the unidentified man now sits outside. KGW reached out to the Clark County Sheriff's Office, Vancouver Police, the medical examiner, and the Southwest Washington Independent Investigative Team for details about who fired first and how the man died. But so far, no new info. But we do know a man wanted for gun violence was killed in gunfire as the nation grapples with a growing problem.
One of the things that people don't necessarily see firsthand is your experience, the people in the community who are impacted through that ripple effect. Mm-hmm. For people watching this at home, what is your message when it comes to this issue?
Just don't be silent about it.
Yeah.
We all need to come together to do something about it.
As this family counts bullet holes and their blessings. Galen Etlin, KGW News.
Portland's police chief is calling it a grim milestone. There have now been more than 1,000 shootings in the Rose City this year. To put that in perspective, there were less than 900 shootings last year and only 388 in all of 2019. We know more than 400 of the 1,000 shootings this year have happened in the East Precinct. A number of those incidents in the Mount Scott-Arleta area. Neighbors we spoke with have taken notice and avoid going outside at night.
I just think it's insane. I do. It blows my mind. And it blew my mind when I found out that there were shootings here. And I called my daughter. I said, "It's at Mount Scott. Is that the park I walk my dog in?" She goes, "Yes."
Portland Police Chief Chuck Lavelle says the enhanced community safety team is working hard to investigate the shootings. The Bureau is also building the focused intervention team to de-escalate and lower the tensions in the community that feed the gun violence crisis. Union employees at the Portland VA held a protest to call out racial discrimination they say is widespread in their facilities. Protesters say they want an end to union busting, retaliation, and systemic racism they see in the Portland VA. Marcia Blaine is the union president. She says she sent a letter to leadership voicing her concerns in March, but never heard back.
Many black and brown officers have left employment here based on the hiring, the fail to promote, and the mistreatment of black and brown employees. And I want it to stop.
Blaine plans on holding a protest once a month until VA leadership agrees to discuss the union's concerns.